Hey guys, what's going on? Kyle with the Car Guys. I'm joined by Tyler here. We actually just talked about this a night or two ago, maybe.
Yeah.
About profiling the green-black Mass Saiyan deck. It's been gaining actually a lot of traction on the groups. I know you've been talking with a lot of people about the deck.
Yep.
And I feel like you have a pretty good understanding of what the deck should look like and how the ratio should be.
Yep.
And then I just saw you play a game. Now, if you guys haven't seen it already, this will go up after the match. What we'll do is there'll be a link right here going to the match. So if you want to see the deck in action, be sure to check out that link right there. So why do you think, I know you've talked about it on the group and everything, why do you think green is the best color for Mass Saiyan?
So green's actually just the best color in the game right now, to be entirely honest. The Kaba Khalifa Kale package is insane. And the interesting thing about Mass is, like, when you're playing against Mecha, your colored cards don't actually matter. Like, you win on the back of your black cards. So you run your colored cards attack against every other matchup. And, like, against a lot of the aggro matchups and a lot of the combo decks, I just want green cards. Like, I want Kales, I want Broly's, I want disruptive cards to back up my aggressive package, that is the black cards.
Yeah.
So, playing Mass Saiyan, of course. He mills 3 every turn, and almost all the time he's a 15k critical. It's if you hit a green card, he gets plus 5k. If you hit a black card, he gets critical. You'll hit, with reasonable ratios, you'll hit both like 75% of the time, and you'll hit critical, which is the lower number in this deck, 85% of the time, give or take. So it's I whiffed on it in the game like 3 times, but that was very abnormal. On Awaken Draw 2, of course, on the flip side, he has the exact same thing. So I didn't actually like this leader at first, but because my thing in this game is I always want to I want my leader to either cheat on energy costs, or I want my leader to draw extra cards, because that's just how you win in every card game.
Yep.
And this card doesn't look like it does either, but it actually does both. Because the mill 3 just enables consistent overwhelm, so you're just playing free cards every turn, and that's cheating energy costs. And then the critical denying their cards so efficiently just gives you a bigger hand than theirs, even though you're not actually drawing cards, which is good, because otherwise you just deck yourself. I've done that a couple times. It's unfortunate. But the deck itself, for the super combo, not a surprise. It does. I mean, it's. You run 4 in every deck. This one being live off the 5 cards in Warp instead of 4 less life is actually really important, because you can get that turn 1. It takes a little bit, but like if you open Time Patrol Trunks and like Bridge Trunks, you're there. So that's not usually a thing, but usually like around the mid game, if your opponent's holding you on Awaken, it can matter a lot to just be able to spend super combos aggressively to just get them dead.
Yeah.
Mass Saiyan actually doesn't even need to Awaken to kill people a lot of the times. Like 15k threatens the leader, so that's just enough very often. We're actually playing 5 Overwhelm 3 Trunkses, 1 Time Patrol, and 4 Unrelentings. I've been iffy on these numbers, but you really want to see an Unrelenting. I'm not actually playing a lot of Overwhelm cards, so 1 Overwhelm card that's live 100% of the time, because you can always play this, you know, tap out, play your green cards, and then just, here's an Unrelenting Assault, 15 you, is just good aggression. And you absolutely need one on your turn 4. You absolutely have to have one of these Trunkses, so having 5, just make sure you're there. Time Patrol Trunks is just the best Trunks in the game. But what I kept finding was, I hit his auto, and I look at the top 2, and, you know, take the best one, put the other one wherever, and then he goes to Warp, and then he's gone. So Unrelenting actually just draws you a card, because it puts itself back in your hand.
Yeah.
So that actually felt better to me than Time Patrol. I might go 3-2 split that way, but I do think 5 is the correct number, and I do think more Unrelenting is better than fewer if you're not on a lot of Overwhelm cards. If you're on a lot, this card gets a lot worse, because you'll just be able to spend your grave every turn. But this makes sure that you can.
Okay.
4 Haru Haru. This card's really bad if your opponent is on the black, blue, or red leader, and just wins the game on its own if your opponent's on the green or yellow leader. So when you play it, you can mill 2. I don't think I've ever milled 2. And then it's a critical threat, and it untaps 4 energy. So it only taking 3 means you can do turns where you like overwhelm in a Mass Saiyan, attack them, play Haru Haru, untap all your energy, attack with your leader, combo a Champa, play a Haru Haru, untap all your energy, play a KO. Like, that's a line that's happened to me. And that can just beat decks out of nowhere. Like, they thought they were fine, and suddenly your board is like 5 threats wide and they're dead. Against every non-green or yellow leader, it either goes in energy or is comboed away and then is sided out. But with Mecha being the best deck in the format, like, you just play 4 of these.
Yeah.
4 Killer Sword Trunks.
Card same.
This card's really dumb because of how it interacts with Haru Haru. So what it does is when it Xenovolves for 4 on top of a Trunks, which is why you have to have the Unrelenting Trunks. And then when you play it, you play a 3-drop from your Warp just straight into play. So with Haru Haru, you untap 4. And you can chain these together as long as you have both. So you go play a regular Trunks, attack, evolve it, play a Haru Haru, untap all your energy, attack with the Trunks, evolve another Trunks on top of it, and just until you run out of Haru Harus or Trunks. And then there's a couple green 3-drops that we play as kind of like the secondary targets when Haru Haru isn't good. But even when you don't get to do the dumb combo things, this card is a lot of times just like 25k because you can combo whatever you search onto it that kills a thing, or like 35k double striker, or it's 2 bodies wide. And having that ability is just really strong, and I almost never go to turn 5s because this card ends the game on turn 4.
Yeah.
2 Power Overseeing Time Trunks. I don't like this one as much because the Overwhelm 2 hurts, or the Overwhelm with 2 energy rather. But it is a cheap double striker, and in this deck, it's basically just a tutor for whatever you want. Like, because you mill so much in the mid game, if you've hit whatever you want and it's in your warp, he'll get it back in your hand for you. A lot of times he grabs back a Champa, but sometimes a KO or even a Khalifa if you just need to awaken. He'll get you what you need. 2 Increasing Evil Masan. So what's really important about this card is it kills an ape on turn 2. And that's actually all that matters about this card. It helps you self-awaken, which is nice, and like it can, kill anything up to cost 5, which is nice. This card's here to kill apes because they go turn 2 March, and then you go okay, Overwhelm 3. If they're on apes, you probably keep 2 in your grave, or like you just combo 2, whatever. You'll get 2 there. And then you play this, and you warp one of their apes, and then you attack 20k, and Mecha's at such a low life total, it probably just has to defend against this, and then like you at least make them spend cards out of their hands, or you just kill another ape. And if this thing gets to kill 2 apes after the March turn, they scoop. Yeah. Well, yeah, like they're done. The Self-Awaken is nice, but that's what it's really there for. 3 Masan Mysterious Warrior. Unfortunately, cannot kill apes because it can't kill things with blocker, but it kills everything else. In a format with like Kabbas and Khalifas all over the place, they go like Kabba into Khalifa, you go cool, Masan, warp your dudes. And like you just get to like time walk them at that point and get infinitely far ahead. It's also a double striker. This deck doesn't actually have a lot of those. The Killer Swords, the Power Overseeing Times, this, and the Broly's are it. So this can just be really good for like sometimes you just slam it as like this is a 20k double striker for 1 punch you in the face. Yeah. It's a really good card. It's really good when you can just chain them together 2 or 3 turns in a row. Like just never not run this card. So that's all the colored cards. There's 24, I believe, just to keep your ratios up. A lot of decks I see go higher. I don't like that because then you don't get the 5k, and the 5k is really important in the Mecha format. Yeah. But for your colored cards, I'm on 3 Champa. Originally I was on 4, and they kept sitting in my hand because you never want to play more than 1 in most turns because you can only have 1 critical threat most of the time, unless you just have Tails out and then you're infinitely far ahead anyway and you should be winning. So I cut it to 3, and then I'll just get 1 back with Power Overseeing Time Trunks. But you really only want to use it on turn 1 and your kill turn, so you need maybe 2 over the course of the game. A lot of times you only need 1. You see so many cards, I was okay with cutting it to 3. We have 4 Trunks Bridge to the Future. This card's stupid. Should not have been printed. This is literally better than Majin Buu. I will say it. So if you're playing enough Saiyans, which this deck is playing more than enough, you look at the top 2, you put a Saiyan in your hand, you put the other one in your drop. So the only notable non-Saiyans are your Champa and your Haru Haru, which you want in drop, so you can warp it, and your super combos. Everything else is a Saiyan. So this is a Majin Buu that sets up your drop area to let you do an overwhelm 4 or 5 like really easily turn 1. This card alone with Mast is, you know, when you combo into Mast, this is Mast Saiyan bait. Like 5 overwhelm 5, you're in. And then a lot of times, honestly, it's just green energy because you need that. We have 4 Kaba, and then this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. 4 Khalifa, and 4 Chaos.
All in the family.
The whole package.
Would you say this is the best engine in the game right now?
100%, without question.
Yeah.
I think you make literally every deck in the game better by adding these 12 cards. And if you can't add these 12 cards, you're not playing like. I don't think you're playing like the best deck. Like, not being able to slide in these is why I don't like Boo, why I don't like the Ultra Instinct decks. Like, those decks do powerful things. These cards are so good. It's a self-awakened tool. It's incredibly good pressure. It's removal. It's draw. This card just finds everything. This card makes your other makes these so efficient. So in the game on the video, I had 2 Kabas on the board and then 4 energy, and my hand had Kaba and 2 Chaos. And so I could have just played 2 Chaos for 1 energy apiece, and that's disgustingly good. Like, I didn't because I would have decked myself, but just the ability to put that much power on the board and that much removal is really dumb. The moment they ban Mecha, the best decks in the game will always revolve around this engine, and even right now with Mecha, I think Mecha Veggies is probably the best deck. Next, we're playing 3 Endless Evolution Broly. This card's most important because it's a 3-drop for Killer Sword. So let's Killer Sword just be like, come in, 20k double strike, also point to 15k, and then this kills one of their guys. They get to choose which guy, but like with Kales and Mass Saiyans, most of the time they only have 1 battle card that you care about on the table. Yeah. So this just cleans up, like kills Vegetos, kills and Ultra Instinct Goku, kills everything. And then it also makes a Broly that you evolve onto it costs 2 less, which is irrelevant like 90% of the time, but when it's good, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But just being the removal is really important. We have 2 Terrascythe Goku Blacks. I slept on this card at first. I didn't think it was good because I read Zamasu in its text and was like, oh, this is a green Goku Black Zamasu support card. Those decks are blue. This card is awful. That line of text doesn't matter. What matters is he makes 2 10k tokens with combo power. They're 0+5 combos. So this card can literally just be like, play it, attack you, combo both tokens, 25k. It can be 3 bodies wide when you need to go wide. You can just combo everything on the Killer Sword to just I have a 4-drop 35k double striker. Have fun because that's disgusting. Or like any combination of the above. You know, combo something onto a Mass Saiyan and make it 25, and then combo something onto itself. Like, it's so flexible, and that brings a lot of power to the table. There's only 2 because you only ever play it once. Like, you play it either on turn 3 or on your Killer Sword turn. And if it's both those, you probably comboed it away.
Yeah.
So it's not super important. Main board, I have more on the sideboard, but when it's good, it's so good that you really want it. And then finally, we have 2 Brolys. 30k double strike is degenerately large. Like this already makes them eat like 3 cards out of their hand, even try to stop it. And then when you play it, they discard 2 cards. So you never want to play it for 6. And if you're having a game where you have to play it for 6, you probably lost 2 turns ago. But you can evolve it onto the 3-drop Broly for 3, which makes it a fine turn 4, because then you have 1 more energy up to Mass Saiyan or to Champa or something like that. And then it eats 2 cards, and like if you eat 2 cards and have that much pressure on the board, like this plus Mass Saiyan, you're gonna win the game that turn. And if you're not, then you were never winning that game. So it's, you know, it probably winds up in energy like 80% of the time, but since you just have to play enough green cards to get your consistent energy for turn 2 Kabas, I think it's fine to play a green card that's not great. I was on Gotens originally. I didn't like the 1+5 combo power. That felt a little weak. 1+10 is still not great. This deck wants to tap out a lot, but it's better than 1+5, and like with the Kales and the Mass Saiyans and the 4-drop Mass Saiyan, the other one, like I just didn't need the removal of Goten, so this was the next best thing. And I haven't gotten to do it much, But like I said, like this will just win the
there,
game.
yeah.
And having this threat, like you play one of these energies turn one, your opponent is terrified. You play an endless Broly like at any point after that, and they have to kill that card because otherwise they're just afraid I'm going to get Brolyed, and no one likes having their hand ripped apart.
So overall, you're enjoying this deck a lot.
Oh yeah. I think it's the best deck in the format is probably still a Mecha deck. I think this is the deck that's most able to beat Mecha consistently.
Best deck to beat the best deck.
Right. And like in a format like this, when everyone is super hyped on Mecha, I want to be on the deck that beats Mecha more than I want to be on Mecha. Just if I'm going through a tournament, because that's going to win me more games, so I'm going to see more Mecha. And then like it's still really good against everything else. It's a blast to play. Like you get to resolve these like dumb engines, and then giant Brolys, and then like you just do so much more in a turn than everyone else that looks like you're cheating, and that's a lot of fun.
You're not wrong. Well, thank you so much for the deck profile.
Yeah,
I know
no
a lot
problem.
of people have been requesting it anyway, and we figured why not go ahead and give the people what they want to see.
Of course.
Be sure to leave a like on the video if you guys haven't. Comment what you guys, either what you thought of the deck or what you would change. I know we're always up for any sort of suggestions going forward, because there's always room for improvement. We love testing everything. That's pretty much for us, guys. It's been Kyle and Tyler with the Car Guys. We'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir.